I'm back. Yes, I was on vacation, and I know. I said I was going to try to stream, and I didn't. In fact, the only thing I posted was a video. I think it was a minute and a half of just the beach, just the waves rolling in on the beach. Um, I just, I wanted to draw, but it was one of those where it was like I was just having so much fun, relaxing, and when I was at the beach the one time, I did do some drawing. I did had a piece of paper set up for a trading card, and I drew Mumra and I drew Pack Rat. So I'll show those. I started to ink Pack Rat, but I'm not really all that happy with it. And so I don't know. When I get done with it, if I like it, I'll post it. Otherwise, I may not. I don't know. But yeah, I was just having so much fun relaxing on the beach and just enjoying life basically. So I didn't really post anything. But then the last day was Thursday, so instead of going straight home here to Pennsylvania, we went up to Charlotte. And so we went to Heroes Con on Friday. We got up there on Thursday, and we were our hotel was literally right across the street from the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So we went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. A lot of history there, and then of course they have the simulators there. And Miss Stippling, she got on the simulator to qualify, and then she went in the simulator twice. And both times she was doing good. And here, other people were ramming into or wrecking into her. So she wasn't happy about that. She was like, "Look at that!" Because like I was taking videos, and she's looking, like, "Look at that! I'm not doing anything wrong, and somebody's hitting me." It's like, and it was a precursor for what happened to Cody out in Iowa. So where he was going along, and somebody who wrecks almost every race wrecked into him, took him out. But he's even finishing and not being able to finish the race, he still finished in the top 10 or top 20. I'm sorry about that. So, but no, I had a great day at the Comic Con. In fact, if anybody's been following me for a while, you know I have another piece just like this I did of other Star Wars characters. And those were characters that were in the Marvel comic between uh, The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And I went, and one of the artists was at the HeroCon, was Ron Friends, who did a number of issues for Star Wars during that period. So I showed him that piece and asked him if he would sign it. And I was pointing like, yeah, and he right away was like, oh yeah, and like so I point out Kiro, I'm like, you create Kiro, and he's like, oh yeah, I did, and like we're just, and he really seemed to be appreciative of the work that I put into it. He didn't have any problem with signing it, so I have an original piece that I did signed by Ron Friends. So getting that done really lit a fire under my butt, and I don't know if I'll get it done, but I'm gonna try to have this piece done as much as possible this week. So when I go up to Garden State Comic Fest, I can have Howard Chaykin sign this, and also have Walt Simonson sign this. I think I might have Louise sign it also, since she was the editor during that time. So, and actually, I'll have Walt sign this piece and the other piece that was signed by Ron Friends. So I'm really looking forward now to going up to Garden State to potentially have some more of my original artwork signed by these guys. So I'm looking forward to it. So, but so yeah, I'm just I'm in seventh heaven. I just had so much fun, and like as soon as we got there, okay, the first artist I went, or first writer I went to see, and the first person to get a signature from was Mark uh, Gruenheim, and he did the Beware of Planet of the Apes. He did issue 50 of the uh, Justice Society of America, and then Uh, he did the Sinister Six series when they did the Battle World Secret Wars, and I had him sign one issue of that, and it was the issue where the Sinister Squadron went up against the New Universe characters. And me and him got talking. I told him, I said, I love the New Universe, so I'm glad that you had the Sinister Six go up against and defeat pretty much all the crappy characters of New Universe. And he was like, yeah, he said that was kind of intentional to like take like the kickers ink characters and like them that color scheme of their outfits. A bunch of people were wearing that white and blue vest outfit that they wore, along with Mark Hazard. Merc, he was there, and just it was just cool how like he was agreeing like yeah I had to have them lose, uh, but and again it was just really neat talking to him, and it started the show off good. And it's so funny because I'm standing there and we're talking, and Miss Stippling goes, "I'll be right back," and she leaves the stuff there. So I finish up with him, and I'm like looking. I gather up my stuff, and I've got the stuff that she was carrying, and I'm like, okay, where is she? I don't. Oh, there. And I'm looking through the crowd. Okay, I'm looking through the crowd, and I spot Miss Stippling. And now anybody who met me this weekend, you met Miss Stippling, and you saw how she's a bit of a stone face. And I said, she knows I say that about her. Okay, so she doesn't take offense to it. Um, but I'm watching I see Miss Stippling through the crowd, and she's grinning from ear to ear. And I'm like, why is she smiling like that? And then as I start to walk towards her, I see why. She's standing right next to Billy and Dan Fraga, and he sees me. He was like, "Hey, Vaughn!" And Fraga also. He's like, "Hey, Vaughn, how you doing?" I mean, so having like creators who now know who you are from being in their chats and whatnot, um, and from meeting me at other shows and remembering me. I'll tell you one thing: Dan Fraga has a mind like a steel trap. He remembers everything. He he remembered me from last year when I saw him at Garden State. And he all but right off the bat knew exactly who I was. I'm sure having Miss Stippling standing next to me and Billy and her talking and probably helped out too. But again, it was so much fun. And then uh, we were walking around, and I wanted to see uh, Death Metal Hero. So we walked all the way down to the other end of the concourse to where his table was, but he wasn't there. And so we're like, okay, so we're walking our way back, and he's like maybe like half an aisle away from me, coming towards me with his girl, flying his lovely lady. That's how he refers to her, his lovely lady, Miss Flying Feline. And he sees me, and I see him, and just before I can react and say anything, he goes, "Stippling Vaughn!" And I was like, "Hey!" And it was neat that I didn't have to introduce myself to a lot of people, and a lot of people knew exactly who I was. It was just really cool, very very cool. So, I was talking to Death Metal Hero Luke, very good time. Him with his lovely lady, Flying Feline, and, if you're on Twitter, I hope that you guys will follow Flying Feline. She became the documentarian, the photo documentarian of the show. She was taking pictures of so many CG people with other people, and like yesterday, she was taking pictures right off the bat of Shay and Sai at the show, and it was just so neat. And so yeah, make sure you follow her. But and then I was standing there. Oh, first of all, we go back to uh, where Dan Fraga and Billy Tucci and uh, Andy Smith are. And it's so funny because none of them are actually behind their table. They're all standing in front of their table and just bullshitting and having a good time. And so, like, the only person I actually got to sign something was Dan Fraga. He had sat down, and so I pulled out uh, my copy that I'd gotten of Black Flag, and before I could surprise him with it, he just saw a glimpse of the corner of it, and he's like, ah, you got a copy of Black Flag there? I'm like, yeah, I do. So I had him sign it, and along with it was like a Marvel Universe guide to the Marvel Universe encyclopedia book that he had done. He like took home some of his artwork and had his spot illustrations in it. So I had him sign that too. But it was just like I said, it was so cool. I was like, we're just all just talking and bullshitting, and like one of the things that like right off the bat that we were like when I walked up to them, one of the things that they were talking about was about remember the episode that Billy did with the wives, and I told him, I said how like yeah, I said that's one of our favorite. Actually no, Miss Stippling tells she goes yes, she goes that's one of my favorite episodes, and I explained to them how on Tuesdays a lot of times I'm listening to the show while I'm cooking or while I'm grocery shopping, but when I come home, Miss Stippling will have the Bros on TV. So she'll be watching even though I'm out getting the groceries. So that was a lot of fun too. How they're like, oh wow, and they're like, oh man, watching us on the big screen TV, and like they're all used to like watching each other on like their tablets and their phones and such. So it was like I said, it was just very enjoyable. And if so funny again, we're at like the little island of tables with those guys, and Reenie's there, and Reenie can't get away because everybody's talking to her, me and myself included. She couldn't even get back to her table because everyone was talking to her. But she got back to her table, and I'm standing there at her table to get her to sign some books. Uh, and I'm standing there, and I'm being polite and talking, and then I start talking, and this one guy's standing right next to me. He goes, "Oh, I know the sound. I know that voice." And I look at him, and I go, and he goes, Stippling Vaughn. I go, "Yeah," and I'm like, and you, and he goes, Maromi. I'm like, "Oh my god!" and uh, and so funny. Maromi is tall. And when they talk about how like Phil Diaz is so tall and Aaron Lepresti is so tall, okay, Maromi would be able to look Aaron Lepresti and Phil Diaz right in the eye. With me, I'm like almost like looking up at Maromi. He's that tall. So, but again, it was just so cool. And then of course, at the end of the show, uh, and I'm heading back. We go walking around. I get signatures from a bunch of people, a bunch of artists and writers, and I'm heading back to Billy's table. And I turn the corner, and I look, and there's this one guy there, and I'm like, and he goes, he turns, he goes, and he does like a oh my god, and he goes Stippling Vaughn, and I go Marcus. So I was talking to Marcus, and it was so much fun. I had so much fun, and it shows how it's one where it's like regardless of all this like hatred. There is no hatred. There is no calling anybody out in pot shots and bullshit like that. So he was like, yeah, we kept missing each other because here he had said at one point he'd gone over and he was talking to Shane for like 45 minutes. Well, I went over to see Shane about 3 times, and my very first impression with Shane was Yanzi is a lot taller than she's made out to be on her streams. When you see her on your streams, you look at her and you think that she's small, she's tiny. No, no, She is at least 5'5". Okay, Yanzi is not short at all, and we were and it was so funny because it wasn't just me. Someone else was standing there, and they're giving Shane a hard time and telling Yanzi that to keep Shane from streaming, she needs to encourage the cats to chew on the power cord. And I told her the one bit I absolutely positively love is when Shane was streaming and she comes up to him and she's off panel and he like out of nowhere all of a sudden there is this frying pan coming on screen about to hit him and just the look of like shock and fear and he was like, oh no 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 no. I told her, I said, I don't know if that was a bit or not. I said, but it was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. So, but no, I just and uh, Shane, he without giving away anything, he was talking about the future of Inglorious Rex and what he has planned for 3. And I was telling him uh, how because they put so much like material in the back of the book, how I get to the final page of the story, and because there's so much material in the back of the book, I think there's more story. And then I turn the page and it's done. I'm like, that is how you ended the book. I'm like, you goddamn motherfucker! Oh my! And I said that so loudly, so many times, but I was saying it in such with so much enthusiasm that I was calling him a motherfucker, but I was calling him that as a compliment. And you could tell he's kind of like he's like okay, and he's like okay, and he's like kind of like I never really had anybody call me a motherfucker as a compliment. But no, it was just a great time, and I had so much fun talking to so many different people and so many creators that I normally don't get a chance to see. I don't know if Miss Stippling and I will make an annual thing of Heroes Con. It is quite a trek for us. We might do it like every every other year, or I don't know. I don't know, but we had so much fun, and uh, and like I said, it wasn't just me. It was her also. She has as much fun as I did. So, but yeah, so I'm going to try to get this piece done for uh, for the Garden State show. The other shows I'll be going to this year is I'll be going to the Garden State show. I'd asked Shane about going to it, and he goes, he kind of wants to, but because they just finished up Inglorious Rex fulfillment, and on top of that, they're going to press soon with uh, oh with Ascend, and he's got. I'll tell you something. Shane has a lot on his plate right now, and I'll tell you something. It is amazing what all he is doing with the world of Inglorious Rex. He's really going. Uh, he's really going hard in the paint with like extra stories, additional stories. So really broadening this world that the Rex fighters live in. And remember how I said how like mankind like mankind's the last hope of humanity, and they're like living in this bubbled city. Um, yes, humanity is on their last legs, but humanity doesn't know it. That's the big key thing, is because that's the reason why the Rex fighting is so important. Is it's the ultimate distraction from people realizing that they're on their last legs and then they're on the edge of uh, uh, extinction. So and he showed me uh, the cover for what Inglorious Rex 3 will be, and I saw it and I was like, oh yes, 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 yes. And he was talking about how he was concerned with Inglorious Rex 2 that essentially he was putting like 2 cliffhanging endings on the book. But I told him, I said, no, I said, the cliffhanger you ended with is the perfect cliffhanger. And so, and again, I support him completely with him doing the supplemental with uh, Alaxo Alonso or the artist who did the Space Marine story. I told him I told him he nailed it perfect with that artist. He's very good, very good. And I loved it a lot. And apparently, I can only imagine what goes through a creator's mind doing their own books, and they're asking someone to do the work for them, and the worry about are they going to match the vision that I have? And I get the sense that Shane was happy with the results that he got for his story. So, but no, guys, I had so much fun. My only thing is that next time, and I got to do this for Baltimore too, is I need to plan more beforehand. So so it's one of those like, hey, what's everybody doing? Where's everybody hanging out afterwards? Let's have something concrete so we can plan accordingly. Uh, when we got done Friday, we were beat. And I was telling a couple of people, like, hey, we're staying at this hotel. So if you guys are doing anything later tonight, let me know. Da, 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 da. When we got back, we were beat. And it's one of those really, but then also, it's one of those where I found out afterwards that there were a couple people that had like dinners together. And I'm like, I wish I said something more to maybe go down to dinner with some people. So got to plan accordingly and got to plan better next time. So, but whether, like I said, it's Baltimore or we go back to Heroes Con, I'm definitely going to have something where I plan stuff. So I got plans for the evening, not just for the meeting people at the show. So, but no, I just had a great time. And I'm gonna be working on this piece here for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Uh, so, but because I mean, you look at it. I mean, I got a lot to do. I mean, I still got to draw this. I got to draw the laser beams. I got to draw the girl up here. So I got a lot of drawing, a lot along of stipping. So I may not have this thing completely inked by the time I go up on Saturday to here's and so yeah. So also because I'm going up to Garden State, I will not be posting a video on Saturday, but I will be in here on Wednesday for Juneteenth. So I'll have another video for you guys to watch of me working on this piece. So, guys, I know. I try to keep it at 15 and I fail. I fail miserably, but uh, I know. You guys all have a great day. I've had a great day, but remember, even when you have great days, stress creeps up on you. Don't sweat it. Just take it all one dot at a time.